So, welcome everyone. The topic today for today's class would be something amongst the lines of how to use meditation to find out answers concerning your life. So many people really sit down and meditate or contemplate and try to find some sort of answer to their life's problems very often. And it is a valid approach, valid technique to use meditation for that. But we have to know actually how. So today's topic is coming from a good friend of mine who has a lot of difficulties in his relationship at the moment. And so he basically said that he's trying to solve it with meditation and is trying to find answers to that by sitting quietly. And he wrote something like, even though I have been sitting for quite a while now and I've been trying, there seems to be no wisdom that is coming out of this meditation session. So sort of what am I doing wrong? It's something like that. So he is trying to get an answer. And I would even say that this is what is blocking the answer actually from arising, in short. Just to take all the topic of today's session, just in a little spoiler beforehand, all trying is ruining it.
Creates resistance.
Yes, exactly. So as soon as we are trying something, as soon as we are trying to get an answer, that's exactly what is blocking our inner wisdom or inner ability to find answers or solutions to life. Solutions or answers, you can say they're quite shy. They don't really come out and jump into your face and present themselves. In fact, the more we think about a certain problem, a certain situation of our life, the less likely we are to find a good quality solution. Because we think about our life's problems not because we want to use creativity to solve a problem, but actually this is a fear that creates a lot of noise in the head. A lot of, oh my God, will it work out? Will we ever get back together? Can I do this? Maybe I'm not able to do this. And these thoughts, if I'm not able to, I need a plan B. What would that plan B be? So how can I do this? It's always about doing. Thinking is always about what to do. And it's mostly about the future. What to do so that I can get there. In fact, thinking, I would say in most times, thinking is actually embodied in that one sentence, I need to do a lot so I can be.
It's a belief, it's a self-belief.
Yes, it is self-belief. Yes.
Because you've been raised to believing this when it's actually not true. You're gonna
Yes.
see it in a different way.
Yes, yes. So we have beliefs, we have all these kind of habit patterns. You can say that thinking follows a habit, a certain habit. And you have a fear-based thought habit, for example, that turns around itself. It kind of feeds on itself. That fearful thought pattern, it needs problems to stay alive. And if sometimes you have these areas in life or these phases in life where there is no problem, everything is seemingly fine, well, then you make a problem up, right? So you have something to worry about. And this is the reason why we enjoy movies, by the way. We enjoy the movies because of the problem. Now imagine you go to the cinema and you have 2 hours of a person sitting at the edge of a forest listening to birds. And that's that. There's nobody coming with a knife from behind. There is not a relationship breakup that kind of precedes this man sitting at the edge of the forest. He's just sitting there having a good time. And that's it for 2 hours. It's one camera perspective also. It's not many camera perspectives, it's just one. And that guy is also not moving much. There's not much tension, there's not much movement. Not so much stress at all, not much nervousness at all. He just sits there totally relaxed, peaceful, listening to birds. It's boring. For him it's not boring, yeah, but for the viewer it's boring, because what is watching that movie is something that feeds on problems. It's a mental attitude that requires a problem to survive. And that is actually sitting in the cinema. It's sitting and watching a movie. It's that attitude that needs the problem. It needs the problematic thing. And once it sees that problem, it feels thrilled. It feels alive. It is feeding on that. Wow. Oh my God. Who's behind him? There's some music. It's already indicating the tension is building. And soon something is going to happen. It likes that. And so if there is not really a problem in your life, and let me assure you, there is no real problem in our lives, as long as we are present. And if we are really, truly in the present moment, there is no future that we would anticipate. There is no past that might create something to regret. It's just this moment. And what is this? What is here in this moment? There's just sounds, smells. There's just vision, tactile sensations, thinking. That's all there is, really, is the 6 senses. You have the 5 physical senses at play. They are very simple. They're not very problematic at all. There's just sound. Even someone yelling, a truck passing by, or someone giving you praise, someone criticizing you. It's the same. It's just sound. The real problem arises actually in the mind. It comes from thinking. You might get out there and really anticipate that someone criticizes you. Then you're happy upon that moment when you actually receive the criticism. Yes, that's the moment I've been waiting for. Here it is. Criticism. Maybe you're training yourself in patience. You say, okay, today I pray for someone to criticize me so I can practice to relax. And then there is this moment and someone criticizes you. You actually feel happy. It's there it is. And I'm mindful. And then there is not a really problem because you realize it's just sound. The meaning and the interpretation happens in the mind, happens in our intellect, based on our memory, again, based on these fearful habit patterns. Will I make it? Will I ever arrive? Will I find myself in the future? Hopefully. But first I need to do a lot. So then I can be. And so it might be helpful to realize not so much that what you're trying to achieve with your meditation, but who is sitting there. Who is doing the practice? It's even more important, I think, to recognize than actually what kind of practice you are doing. Say, I'm trying to get an answer. Who is trying to get an answer? Is it fear? I wouldn't feed fear in particular. And it is fear that tries to get an answer. And that fear always operates from this assumption that it hopefully will find itself in the future. Hopefully I get something nice in the future. Hopefully the dreadful situation that I'm in right now, notice right now I'm talking as fear. Hopefully the dreadful situation that I'm in right now will end soon, so I can live. But you are alive right now. It's fear that is actually lying right in your face. It says you're not alive just yet. But soon, once the dreadful situation is out of your way, then you can live. It's the promised land, isn't it? And it comes right out of the devil's mouth. If you want to use some Christian terminology, the promised land is the devil's domain. It keeps you, you can say, the devil has very cunning tools, right? And So the best kind of tool is waiting for salvation, which is supposed to be in some utopian future scenario that the mind envisions to be true. So in the future, I will be fine. Yes, but God has very clearly stated also in the Bible that I am that I am. That is a present tense. It is not I am that I will be. It's that I am that I am. He also didn't say I am that I should be, or I am that I could maybe have been if I didn't. It's imagine that. It's like you have Moses going up on the mountain, right? And he sees the flaming bush, and you ask, who are you? And the answer comes out of the bush. It says, I am that I could have been if I didn't have. And hopefully I will be sooner or later if I just do enough. Very complicated. This is a headache in the burning bush. It's a headache in the burning bush. It's not God. Huh? It's not paradise. It's not heaven. And similarly, also the Buddha is continuously pointing to the present moment. When he's teaching about something, then he's always referring to the space of presence in which this is to be applied right now. It's not that you receive a teaching and then you say, wow, that was great. I will apply that in practice at 6 p.m. today. But it is for now, right now, as you listen to my words. Ideally, you would be listening not with your intellect, not with your fear, not with your neediness, but actually listening with mindfulness, empty listening, just simply noticing, Tobi is making sounds. And that's that. That would be the best form of listening, I can assure you. You're just recognizing it's really just sound. As you're actually talking, you can do the same. You can recognize that the mouth is making sounds. It's quite funny, actually. And it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be funny. It's not some serious kind of practice. You're not supposed to be some sort of a very serious meditator. That's big trouble. You're taking yourself very seriously and your my meditation practice and my religion and I am spiritual. This very serious stuff, That is an attitude that is again based on fear. Hopefully I will make it. Hopefully everyone else recognizes what a lovable person I am. Yeah. It's again that. And here in this scenario of my friend who said that he's struggling since a year with his relationship, he had to move out actually, and so he's now thinking about it. There's children involved as well. So it seems that everything seems to be very entangled, very complicated. Decisions have to be made, and there's a lot of stress. And sure, yes, in life we need to make decisions, but we should be aware of where those decisions actually come from, so we know what they feed. Does that make sense? Right? If you make a decision in your life, let's say you say, maybe it would be better to get back together with my wife because for the benefit of the children. That might be a likely decision to make. Or maybe I need another year apart so it will fix itself. All these are based on the fear and on this dependency that we think or that we assume that we have with other people, where this kind of my future happiness is dependent upon my current decisions. That would be the usual type of operation mode. Now, I take it a step further. Get out of this. Say, start from happiness. Don't start from the assumption that happiness will come once the doing is just right, because doing is never just quite right.
Happiness is within.
It is, yes.
You can't really trust anyone or give their responsibility to anyone, because when that person's not there or the thing's not there, then your happiness has been, it's in danger because you are trusting somebody or something to make you happy. So you need to find that within. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
So finding happiness,
we all know.
finding real happiness within means you are becoming completely independent, actually. This is true emancipation, you can say. Freedom. This means your happiness is truly undisturbed by events. Events cannot invade your being. Because your being, and here comes the big kind of secret, is not an event. It is not something that happens. It is something a bit more profound than that. It is being. It is not becoming. It is not trying to be. It is not struggling to be. And that is what can provide us with answers if we are able to access it quietly, in deep silence. That's where answers are actually coming from. Very creative, very powerful answers can arise out of silence. You tap into your inner wisdom, into your understanding, into your deeper knowledge of life by tapping into that inside of yourself that goes beyond word.
Do you think that would be like listening to your intuition?
I would even say it's kind of, you can say maybe it's intuition or something like that. You can call it intuition, but it is beyond any label. And also the answers are beyond, it's more like a feeling that you clearly know what is the next step to do. And then also, it would be too much to actually ask for a solution that fixes the whole problem, because it's often a huge entangled situation with many people who are participating and suffering in that. So it's, if you think about, okay, I have to solve all of this and only then will everything be okay, it's also a trap, because we move step by step, we move very slowly in life. And we make decisions as we go along, and many of those decisions will not work out, I guarantee. That's the ones where you learn from. That's where all the human learning has happened so far. But if you look at human learning from a bigger perspective, then you also notice it is not a perfect learning. It is more like a cyclic kind of learning. It's not the learning that goes in a straight line from A to B and then all our problems are solved. But it's that kind of learning that creates another problem. That is human development, you can say. One solution creates the next problem, which then in turn requires a solution, which then in turn creates the next problem. So it's just going around and around in cycles like that. So there is really no perfect answer concerning the world. The world is a field of change. It is impermanent. Nothing in it lasts. Nothing in it. So my big relationship tip. Today I'm giving a relationship tip. Would be to continuously be aware of that one sentence: I will die. That really is a very good tool in a relationship. I will die. Well, what will happen? Should I fix it? I will die. And what about my children? They will die. Or what about my wife? She will die. And really, really feel that truth. Know that there is this lifespan in which we are trying to do it as perfectly as possible, creating a whole lot of trouble for ourselves and others, finding the occasional solution. There are ups, there are downs. That will never change. So coming to life decisions, what can you expect from life decisions? Well, ups and downs. Should I go left or should I go right? You see, this question, it is based on the idea that I make this one decision in life and afterwards I will live in peace ever after. It will be great, fantastic, and it's all depending on that one decision I need to make. And people really stress out about this a lot. I need to make so many times people come and approach me and say, Tobi, I need to do this, I need to make this very important decision. What if it doesn't work out? Well, then you make another decision, right? It's not that complicated. If it doesn't work out, you make another decision, you move along. And so we kind of have this trial and error when it comes to life, but it will never be perfect, it will never be satisfying. Don't fall into the trap of seeking satisfaction and ultimate pleasure and joy in things that change, because it cannot give you that. Every joy, every happiness that life can provide, it is also connected to problems. Every single one is connected to trouble. Every time. There's not one decision that is perfect, in the sense that once you have decided, everything will go well. But in fact, things go up and down. Whatever decision you will make, it will go up, it will go down. And ideally you can say you learn from the times when it goes down, and you enjoy the times when it goes up. And that's kind of the best it really gets. So that's why we need spiritual practice aside from cultivating a life well lived.
I think it's about attitude as well. Your attitude towards that situation. Because if you choose to see the good in it, doesn't matter how bad it is, but if you choose to see the good in it, you can take something away from it that's good. Because I think there's always both sides.
There are always both sides, but in some cases it's incredibly hard to see the good in it or to see the bad in it. So if we are willing to see the good in it, we should also be willing to see the bad in it, because they go hand in hand. You can't really separate them. It's a bit like, if you are willing to embrace life, you must be willing to embrace death also. You in fact do, without even knowing it. But if it becomes a sort of separate thing, like the good and bad, they are seemingly two separate things that are seemingly in one thing together, and you can pick which one you're looking at, but you're looking always at the same thing, really. If you're looking at the good, you're looking also at the bad. If you're looking at the bad, you're also seeing the good, actually. If your looking is thorough, if you really look, if you're not compartmentalizing experiences, you say that one is good, that one is bad, then you will notice that they are totally linked. Like the tunnel is linked to the light at the end of the tunnel, and you cannot separate both of them. Impossible. Right? There wouldn't be any kind of light at the end of the tunnel which gives you great pleasure when you see it if you weren't in the tunnel. So the pleasure arises from being in the tunnel, in fact. That's why the light at the end of it makes sense then. And so it's similar to understand that there is no life situation or life story that is ultimately satisfying. No matter how you turn it, either way, there will be trouble and there will be good times. So know that before you are stressing out about making decisions, know that each and every decision is fallible. It works out for a short time and then it doesn't work out, might get you in more trouble, might get you in less trouble, for a short time, for a long time. We don't know. It's uncertain. So if you try to solve things with your intellect, the answer is always, it's not sure. Should I do this? Not sure. Should I turn right? Not sure. Because we don't know what will happen. What we do know, however, is this moment. And if we access this moment with silence, for example, right now, as you're listening to this, feel the body. You might feel your hands, your feet, the way you're sitting. Maybe you pick up sounds around you. And then just like a mirror is reflecting something, simply reflect the feeling of the body. The mirror doesn't comment on it. just reflects it. Also, your awareness or your mindfulness is like this also. There's just a reflection of the feeling. And so if you practice the meditation technique that I have uploaded on SoundCloud, that we also practiced in the beginning, if you practice that technique regularly, every day, let's say twice, you sit down and you cultivate this kind of deepening of silence in a step-by-step approach, then you will come to access at some point a very fulfilling state of quietude. And in that state, there is no waiting at all. And that's why it's just so pleasant. There is no waiting. There's no waiting for wisdom. There's no waiting for answers. You don't need answers anymore. You have found such a place of peace and happiness through the silence, through the non-struggling, through leaving yourself alone completely, that you don't need answers anymore. You're just fully satisfied by resting in yourself. And from such states, answers usually come. It is when you don't need the answer anymore, that's when it usually comes. As I said, answers and solutions to life's problems are very shy. They need you to be quiet and don't move. As soon as you move a little bit, your body or your mind, it's gone. There's stress, there's tension in its various ways, in its various forms, and the answer will run away fast. And the more needy you are, the more the answer will feel repulsed by you. It will not come. It's almost like if you have like a date between a man and a woman, and that man is incredibly needy. He wasn't in a relationship, let's say, for 5 years. And so he really needs this relationship. So he's unbelievably needy. What would the woman then do? Usually go the other way, right? Because the woman would feel that that man is incredibly needy, and something inside her will tell her, you need distance. You need to get out of this fast, you know. But what is very attractive for women or men is someone that is just happy, that doesn't need anything. That is attractive, isn't it? You have no need. I am happy, and happy is attractive. Happiness is attractive. Your peace of mind, your comfort in your own beingness, that is very attractive. It attracts all those people who are not happy, who are struggling with their own life, and that's everyone. And so the happier you are, the more comfort can you provide. And this is genuine comfort. It is not comfort that is based on talk. It is comfort that comes out of your being. People feel comfortable around you like this. It's nice to hang out with you. So this kind of comfort is the answer to most of life's problems. Once you are living beyond fear, you don't need to find so many solutions. You really trust in life, and you know the answers that you need will come at the right time, and you trust in that. You relax. So you're free to live your life, because you know you're carried by life. You're not feeling like you need to live it. You are the manager of life, the owner of life. But there's more of a sense of trusting life and being carried by it, relaxing into that sense. So you are free to practice and enjoy yourself and have a good time, because that is what makes a life truly worthwhile living. And this is what also inspires other people around you. Your happiness, your joy, your creativity, the freedom from problems. And as long as you perceive yourself as being the one that has a problem, you know already now where it's coming from. I am the one that has a problem and I hope I can solve it soon, because then I can live. If you are meditating based on that, fear is making the meditation. Don't let fear meditate. Don't let it get any answer, because this answer will feed the fear on the long run. It will shortly kind of calm it down, and it will become stronger each time. Silence, presence, and kindness. They're all related. That is what takes care of life. Okay. I think that's good enough for today.